Hey guys, this is Dread, joined by Seth for Game 3 between mOOnGLaDe, the purple Zerg, and LiquidTyler, the green Protoss. Now, this map is Shakura's Plateau, and NoNy came back with the second game win, so we now have our third game. Seth, take us through it.
Yeah, looking forward to this. I mean, it's the rematch as we've been talking about from the HDH. Probably didn't mean that much to NoNy, aka LiquidTyler, because, NoNy roared his way through the HDH, working all the way through to the final series. But interesting how hard NoNy hit back in Game 2. mOOnGLaDe opened so well in Game 1 on Xel'Naga, and NoNy just had all the answers in Game 2. So now we're on the Ace Match, and I love Ace Matches. Super excited. We're back casting. The team is back again finally. But the interesting thing about Shakura's Plateau is, that needs to be pointed out almost every time we cast this, for those that don't know, and you will hit this in the map pool because it's a relatively new edition, you cannot spawn vertically. So if you look at mOOnGLaDe, you see that his drone is going straight across the map. You can only spawn diagonally opposite or horizontally to your right, to your left. So basically mOOnGLaDe, where he's spawning right now, knows that he cannot be facing someone below him, and NoNy knows he cannot be facing someone above him. So you notice that both of them are sending their scouts out directionally opposite or directionally to the left, as opposed to going straight up and down because they can't spawn there. But mOOnGLaDe gets there much faster. Curious if we'll see the same build from NoNy right now. It looks very similar, looking like 12 gate into 15 gas. Very different from mOOnGLaDe. This is a very Shakurus orientated opening. Knowing that your opponent is so far away, cannot be that close positions, that you can do something more aggressive like fast expand. Early expanding before pull against the Protoss can be a little bit dangerous, and you wouldn't see it done on that Xel'Naga Caverns or even Lost Temple. This is a very Shakura specific play for mOOnGLaDe. Lots of Zergs love Shakurus because of that reason. It's more open, the ramps are a little bit bigger, the ramp into your base isn't so big, but into your natural, it's a nice big ramp, so it's good for attacking. Looking like Tyler is going to wall off again. A little bit of a wider gap this time. He was liking those smaller gaps, but that's again to do with the map here. So really curious if NoNy's going to go the same thing and go for those Stargates and get those Phoenixes out, followed by Void Rays. He's just so good with those Phoenixes. He invented the first 2-gate into Phoenix build. It's named after him, so curious if we're going to see that once again, or whether he's going to try and pressure mOOnGLaDe knowing about this expansion. So yeah, really excited about this, and right now I'm just really interested to see what tech Tyler is going to throw down.
Yeah, he actually showed how it was done very nicely in the last game. I would personally think he's doing the same thing at the moment. He is getting a sentry out, chrono boosting his warp gate. Nothing too crazy going on there so far, and of course mOOnGLaDe has his expansion up. No real pressure, I would imagine, coming anytime soon while this drone gets through the defenses. Going to see everything he needs to. You're going to see this hidden pylon on the side, not really doing anything there anyway. And just going around the mineral line, so he knows exactly what's going on here while this sentry is going to try and pick it off, and he will get that solitary drone. And he won't see the extra gateways going down right now, so good pick off there by the sentry. Now he doesn't know these extra gateways are on their way.
Yeah, really interested now that Tyler hasn't gone straight into that Stargate, whether we will see a 4th gateway or possibly even 3-gate into an expansion right now. mOOnGLaDe, on the other hand, just macroing up, continuing to drone, feeling a little bit safe, getting his spine crawlers up. He got a little bit too invested in the spine crawlers in Game 2, I think. He got really keen to do that spine crawl push, got really roach heavy, so I'm really interested to find out what Tyler's going to throw down right now. He's accumulating a bit of minerals. Could be an expansion that we're going to see. Here's that Overlord Scout from mOOnGLaDe. The timing is a little bit too early. Might have been a prediction there by NoNy. Might have realized what's up. Don't like this turnaround by mOOnGLaDe. He did think, oh, maybe I can evacuate the Overlord and send it back. That was a mistake. Could have kept going. Obviously, it's not going to be that devastating because there was no tech over here to see, but mOOnGLaDe doesn't know that. It is the expansion going down. That's what this pooled minerals by NoNy was. Trying to get rid of this other Overlord. This one looks like it might get out. Lots of sentries right now, which are really good on these ramps. He has like 5 sentries out. It's going to be able to force field forever and ever and ever. But mOOnGLaDe now knows about this expansion, but mOOnGLaDe has been droning really heavy. Decent saturation at both bases right now. So really interested to find out what mOOnGLaDe's reaction is going to be now that he's seen the 3-gate into expansion. I like this build. It's really effective, and it means that he's got a lot of options now. He's got a decent force to be able to hold off if mOOnGLaDe was going to cut drones, which he hasn't, and pressure. But it also means that he's now set himself up economically to take the expansion, continue producing troops, and then I'm just curious which way he's going to go, whether it's going to be Stargate, Robo, or more gateways once he gets this macro up and going. So both players really just sticking to their game plan right now and building up and getting their macro on, so looking like they'll be settling back for a longer game.
Yeah, I mean, NoNy does have actually some units out near his expansion, well, sitting right in front of his expansion, whereas, yeah, mOOnGLaDe's just happy to kind of power on with his macro. He's got nothing but upgrades, drones, and extractors going out now. His lair is almost done, so I'd imagine we'd see something as far as Aspire come out, and the robotics facility actually now just going down. So we'll have to see what comes out there. I'm sure the Observer's the first thing. And Hydralisk then going down for mOOnGLaDe as we speak.
Yeah, this could be really good for NoNy. Kind of a blind throwdown right now. mOOnGLaDe does favour Hydra, Roach, Infester. He is a little bit known for that. His control with those Infestors is so good. So if he goes Hydra, Roach, Infester, I would not be surprised. This is exactly what Tyler wants. After he gets that Observer up, he wants to get Colossi to handle these Hydras that are going to be coming from mOOnGLaDe. Of course, right now he needs that Observer to get in there to know exactly what's going. But look at the vision from mOOnGLaDe. He has Overlords all over the place. He has Zerglings placed at several different expansions. We'll know exactly when NoNy tries to take a third. He's got both Xel'Nagas. He just has so much vision of the map right now. Just really in control of everything compared to NoNy, who has very limited vision right now. Doesn't have the scouting going on. There's the Observer coming out, so that's going to be a bit of a leveler. Got to watch at the supply cap right now. He's nudging up against it, but there's the Pylon coming in. Continuing to see more units warping, but we are seeing like a push out coming out now. He does have a lot of sentries, so he can do some really nice force fields. There is those 4 spine crawlers by mOOnGLaDe. mOOnGLaDe loves his spine crawlers. Got to be careful this queen doesn't get caught out of position, but of course he has those 2 Xel'Nagas right now, so he's seen that push out. Now the interesting fact will be whether mOOnGLaDe is going to panic and produce lots of units to deal with this, or whether this was just a feint. Looking like Tyler might actually commit to it. It could have just been a feint to make mOOnGLaDe cut drone production, but looking like Tyler is interested in attacking with 2 proxy pylons going down right now.
Yeah, he threw down the warp gate, so now the Protoss force is moving in. There's a lot of spine crawlers doing a lot of damage there. He chooses to back off, but he's now pretty much committed to this. He's got his pylon now there, so he can start warping in a lot of units, choosing to get his warp gate. He's going to see if he's going to prod around the side, or just to see what's going on and see if there's any expansions going on there, 1 Stalker going up. Well, he'll find out soon enough that there is nothing there, and now there's a lot of Hydras. That's given him a bit of time there as more and more Hydras keep popping out. Robotics Bay now going down. A bunch of the units getting caught off by these Hydras now pushed back into their face as these spine crawlers are now moving up. Yeah,
these spine crawlers are going to get caught out of position. This is perfect for Tyler. Good force fields going down. If he force fields the ramp, he can cut off reinforcements. mOOnGLaDe bringing these drones out. They're getting caught behind the spine crawlers. Really good force field placement there by Tyler. That could have been really bad for mOOnGLaDe if he was split there, but the spine crawlers got down. Good positioning there by Tyler. It's his instincts for the game that were kicking in there. He was suspecting a third. He knew the timing for mOOnGLaDe would want the third, but the third's gone up at the 12 o'clock right now, which was the advantage of destroying these rocks. He opened that up, whereas NoNy's just sitting on 2 base, and he's kind of committed to this attack now, warping in lots of units. He hasn't got the map control to take his third, and he's really settling into this attack. I don't like the situation for NoNy right now, because he really needs to take his third to keep up with mOOnGLaDe. He doesn't suspect that the 12 o'clock there hasn't scouted that. He needs more vision, and mOOnGLaDe just being so good, retaking these Xel'Nagas, sneaking Zerglings back, seeing exactly what's coming, trying to remain in control. Now we are seeing a decent force field going out, trying to isolate these Hydras. No Colossi yet to come and really help out. Hydras doing so much damage. They do lots and lots of damage to gateway units. mOOnGLaDe brings the drones, then realizes he's probably not going to have to. Spinecrawler's basically untouched. Hydra's able to push through. More units being warped in. Hydra's off creep. This is dangerous. A little bit of overcommitment there by mOOnGLaDe. He's probably going to lose these Hydras. There's the Hydras pulling away. So he's not going to lose that many. Looking like he's going to push out, work on this proxy pylon. So that's a little bit of a loss there for NoNy. Pulling back. And a little bit of an interesting situation now for NoNy. He is behind. He's been trying to find that third. And now he is sending out to try and take his own third expansion. But that circling from mOOnGLaDe is going to pick this up straight away. Brilliant vision, brilliant placement there from mOOnGLaDe. He's just got such great map control and scouting. Going to force NoNy to pull his Stalkers back. He's pulling his whole army to deal with this one lone Zergling. And mOOnGLaDe, of course, can feel really confident about the timing right now. Knows he's got an economic advantage. And he is building Corruptors to deal with these Colossi. They will be a crucial unit for NoNy to deal with these Hydra Roach Balls right now. +2 attack upgrades coming online for mOOnGLaDe, as well as Roach Speed. So bunch of sentries coming out for NoNy. Really interested to see how this Colossi usage is going to be able to turn the tide for NoNy, because right now forcing to pull back to get another Zergling that was just being a little bit cheeky and trying to see what's going down at that third base. Now the onus is now on mOOnGLaDe to either take a fourth or to disrupt this third, because he wants to maintain that lead. He's got good saturation on his third, but he's been mining from his third for a while, so NoNy must be a little bit unsettled. He was trying to find that third, and he even moved his main force out because he knew the timing. He knew it must be there, and it's only now that he's seeing exactly what's going on. Throwing out a proxy pylon at the top side of his expansion just to warp in units if he needs them, and get a little bit of map control back, but mOOnGLaDe has just been on top of scouting this whole time. So really interested to find out what NoNy's going to be able to do to turn this around.
Yeah, it's really going to come down to these Colossi and how well he can control these, because they can completely rip through that Zerg ground force, but of course these Corruptors, if used properly, will just completely demolish any of that. But there's so many Stalkers on the ground, you got to be very, very careful. Looks like he's going to go up top. Maybe he's got a bunch of these Stalkers here. They can range up there, and he's got the Observer up there too. So he's going to take out a bit of this Extractor, as now these Zerg forces are going to move their way across the map. Going to take out this proxy pylon, as they're going to try and maybe take out this Protoss force.
Yeah, able to get a Queen down to 8 hit points. These Corruptors trying to get a few free hits. This is just a bit of shadowboxing right now. Ideally for mOOnGLaDe, he wants to get these Corruptors above this cliff, get a few hits off on these Colossi, but his forces are out of position now. Corruptors are nowhere near. Engaging the Hydra Roach with no Corruptor support. This is exactly what mOOnGLaDe doesn't want. Force Field's going to go down, trapping a bit of his army, realizing that Hydras are off creep. He's not going to be able to run right now. Corruptor's coming really late to this fight. Going to take down one Colossi, but there's still so many Stalkers in right now. These Corruptors trying to work on these Colossi, but mOOnGLaDe forced to flee, losing so much. More Corruptors coming right now, hitting the Roach panic button, getting a bunch of Roaches, because he's basically lost a lot of his ground army. He could be a little bit vulnerable to attack right now, taking that position, but he does have these Spine Crawlers he's falling back to. More Roaches pouring in, building 17 Roaches, but that engagement was really bad for mOOnGLaDe. He did not want to be fighting all these Colossi clustered in gateway units without his Corruptors. These Corruptors now trying to get these Colossi, snipes one Colossi. That's what he wants to be doing. Doesn't want to be engaging directly, using these Colossi to sight up the cliff with a nest of all those Stalkers. Lots of Corruptors coming in right now. Will they get the third Colossi? Yes, down to 2 Colossi. Colossi numbers are really down. These losses hurt. The loss of a Corruptor or 2 is nothing compared to the Colossi loss right now. Just looking at the income, evening out a little bit. 64 Harvesters for mOOnGLaDe compared to 55 for NoNy. NoNy's been droning up a little bit. These Hydra Roaches caught out of position without their Corruptors again. This has been really bad positioning for mOOnGLaDe right now. But he has been able to snipe off a few Colossi, trying to snipe more. Not even going to get that third Colossi, almost sacrificing all of his Corruptors. Don't agree with that. He has such a nest of Stalkers. The Stalker's able to thin down the Colossi, the Corruptor numbers. So right now, NoNy is in a much better shape than he was, but mOOnGLaDe does have good saturation at his third, and NoNy's only just now getting in the same ballpark economically.
The good thing for NoNy is that he does have a lot of those Stalkers, which can protect those Colossi if they're in the right area. Now, of course, you can always sacrifice a bunch of those Corruptors to get those Colossi, because there's only 4 of them. So there's actually a few of them, but there's so many Corruptors being made. They're just constantly being pumped out. More sentries going to be warped in. Colossi are still on their way, but I don't know if this is a big enough force. He's going to move out. And, well, he did win this battle first, so we'll have to see if he can do it again.
Timing attack coming here from NoNy. +1, almost finishing. 99%. It's going to finish in the middle of this fight. Very crucial, because he's up against +2 upgrades for mOOnGLaDe. mOOnGLaDe's so good with those upgrades. Corruptor's able to sweep through all of those Colossi. No Colossi left. Corruptor's just throwing corruption on these ground units. Lots of Stalkers coming through. Bunch of sentries, but there's just so many Hydra Roaches. The Hydras are getting row, the Roaches are getting row, but 16 more Roaches coming through for mOOnGLaDe. These Corruptors are intact. They're kind of like an insurance policy against more Colossi. That was really bad for NoNy. This is exactly what Zerg wants to do. Zerg wants to trade armies with the macroeconomic lead, because Zerg is just going to remake the army. Look at that. Already hitting up towards the supply cap. Once again, that remaking that army so fast, where it's much harder for NoNy right now. He's sitting at 95 food compared to 187 for mOOnGLaDe. He's in such bad shape because of that engagement. He thought the +1 attack, timing attack would be alright, but it was so late in the game that mOOnGLaDe was at +2. mOOnGLaDe moving out towards this expansion right now, and there's really almost nothing NoNy could do. He was trying to get his 4th online, which is probably now going to be reduced to his 3rd, trying to evacuate the probes. The probes getting shredded by these Hydra Roachfall. Coming in right now, might force field the ramp, decides not to, doesn't really have the force to engage. Second Colossi joining him, but there's this nest of Corruptors, and this is terrible, terrible shape for NoNy right now.
Looks like NoNy's going to try and get a couple Immortal. He's got one coming out now to deal with so many Roaches on the field, but I mean, it'll take care of that, but there's just so many Roaches and Hydras on the field right now that I don't think it'll be enough. I mean, he's now getting his expansion up that is now his vibe.
Yeah, looking at 199 food versus 100, trying to engage on this ramp, working on trying to attack up the ramp right now, and there's just so many units coming right now, brute forcing his way through. mOOnGLaDe is going to push right through all these Corruptors, wiping out the Colossi, and this is the final thing. This force field is the only thing keeping those Roaches out right now, able to mop up these last couple of ranges. Good force field placement, bring in a bunch of sentries, but it's too little too late. If he could have got them earlier, would be able to force field that ramp forever and ever. A desperation force field going down, but there's the ZZ. Apparently that's better than GG. ZZ is the new GG if you're LiquidTyler, but finally mopping that out, looking like we just lost Dreadbane right on the edge of that game there, because Skype is just fantastic. We love you, Skype, for dropping us and making this really, really hard to cast. So a little bit off sync there. Sorry, guys. That's just Skype being horrible. But really exciting game there, and vengeance is mOOnGLaDe's from the HDH. Takes out LiquidTyler, aka NoNy, in this best of 3 from the Cybergamer Pan Pacific Championships. Really exciting there, and the interesting thing was it was a round 1 knockout by mOOnGLaDe, like it was in the HDH, and round 1 knockout for NoNy. So really exciting ace match there.